Hello and welcome to another fresh edition of Poly Playbook. We're serving up all the hot action, cool plays, and everything in between for Cal Poly Athletics. I'm Connor McCarthy. Poly Playbook starts now. Home. That is what women's soccer head coach Alex Crozier has called Cal Poly and San Luis Obispo for the past 25 years. Crozier began coaching back in 1992 and has led the women's soccer team to 11 conference victories, and he has seen 2 of his players signed to professional teams. With his 25th regular season coming to an end, I caught up with him with his players to see what it's like having Coach Crozier as a coach.
And I feel pretty confident saying I think we should have.
Coach Crozier's leadership these past 5 years, 5 seasons for me, has been very positive.
His ability to see life in a very balanced manner. He's a big family guy.
Actually, back and forth between parenting and coaching. You know, I do stuff at practice, like I should try that with my kids. And I do stuff with my kids, like, oh, I can do that at practice.
Coach is unique through probably his metaphors. He's the coach he's like the most metaphorical coach I've ever had. He'll do drills and explain them as if they were the Hunger Games.
He always has these like funny analogies when he'll be like at practice and he'll say these things and you're just like, where did you get that, like when you're talking about soccer? But then you'll think about it for a couple seconds after he's done talking and you're like, wow, like that actually applies to life and soccer.
You know, you can do a lot of talking and have a picture in your own head of you want it to look like, but you need to convey what's in your head out to people. So for me, analogies are a way to do that, just kind of painting a picture. You know, it's like kind of giving them an idea of what is it we're trying to do and what does it look like so that you know when you get there, as opposed to just empty things like get organized or work harder. It's like, well, how do you know if you've gotten there?
Honestly, it's really rewarding because he's a really strong person and a strong coach, and he's just an all-around really intelligent person. So being under his leadership just teaches you a lot about soccer, but also like life lessons at the same time.
You come to realize like there's no place like San Luis Obispo. And so, I mean, I was able to make it work, basically because my wife had a good job and she could support my coaching habits. We were able to move back and make it work, but it's just a special place, you know, between the location, the weather, great academics, you know, we have a great soccer program, and it's just a nice place to live. And I've been to a lot of places, you know, in the United States and across the world, and there's very few, if any, that I would compare to here.
Next, we're going to take a look at a group that helps make the Cal Poly athletic experience unique and exciting, the Mustang brand.
Mustang Band.
Fun.
You see them at sporting events.
Pep.
Playing their hearts out.
Overwhelming and like a good time.
But what goes into being in the group?
The demand to get into Mustang Band has gone exponentially higher over the years.
So now, participants need to audition. They practice twice a week, but for drum major Caitlin Dietz, it's been almost a decade of practice. She's been playing instruments since middle school. 1, 2, 3, 4. She's essentially the conductor. This means she's in charge of keeping tempo, which requires communication.
Developing that relationship with the drummers so that we can keep that tempo and the band has that steady pulse.
And let's not forget their dance moves. Who comes up with them?
We have section leaders for each instrument, and we try and come up with just whatever moves we can. We like have inside jokes on them, or like we do them to songs we've heard outside of band, and we try and create an atmosphere where we can like do those dance moves and be silly and like interact with an audience.
They even take these moves into the crowd, serenading a lucky few.
Every now and then I'll check on the audience and see how they're feeling and how they're like reacting to the band, and it's always smiles because we're always just super goofy.
So why does Dietz do it?
When I'm up there and I'm not playing, but I get all this sound coming at me, it's a great experience.
Leah Pizzetti, Mustang News.
Thanks, Leah. Now let's take a look at how the men's and women's basketball team prepared for their 2016-2017 season.
With the winter season approaching, basketball season is among us. With less than a week away before their first game, both Cal Poly men's and women's basketball teams have implemented drills that will best accommodate the new team. Forward Amanda Lovely has confidence in this year's team and already has set her goal of winning Big West.
It's the mentality mostly. It's like every day that we come, we know we're coming here to work. Like we're not ever like wasting any days. We're not wasting any time. I think everyone just has a really good positive attitude.
Women's basketball coach Faith Mimna says the Mustangs will face off against top contenders such as Long Beach State, Stanford, and UCLA.
Obviously, we've got a couple of big leaguers that we're going against this season in Stanford and UCLA that are both in the number 11 and number 9 in the nation. So those are big tasks for us, but I feel very good about this team, that they're going to be right there at the end in our conference play to be in competition for a championship.
Women's basketball is not the only team hoping for a Big West championship. Men's basketball guard Ridge Shipley is hoping the new drills and practice will lead them to the championship.
I think we've just kind of exposed everything that we could improve on, and then harped on that during practice, whether it's just individual drills for individual players to work on, or as a group, as a team that we need to work on. I think being able to hammer those in every practice and to learn from that in film and on the court is going to help us a lot and translate it on the court this year.
Coach Joe Calero has found 3 problem areas that he wants the team to focus on improving.
We have speed, quickness, and aggressiveness. Should allow us to get more open shots, a little more pressure on the defensive side.
Like the women's basketball team, the men's team is excited for what's to come.
The biggest game for us clearly is that first game of the year. I mean, when you work for 8 months trying to get to it, we're really dying to play on Friday, November 11th at Pepperdine.
Naba Ahmed, Mustang News.
Tune to the rest of their season in the coming winter quarter. There was a lot going on this quarter in Cal Poly sports. Next, we're going to take a look at the important victories and defeats of the fall season.
Cal Poly football had a great run this season, finishing 7-5 overall, 5-3 in conference, and was ranked in the top 25 for several weeks, landing 4 Mustangs on the All Big Sky Conference team. The team pulled notable wins over San Diego, South Dakota, Montana, Portland State, and UC Davis, making it to the playoffs for the first time since 2012. But their season ended this past Saturday with a loss in a rematch against San Diego. Men's soccer had a tough schedule this season, but scored important victories over number 6 UCLA, UC Davis, and Sacramento State. To the disappointment of Cal Poly fans, they lost the blue-green rivalry game against Santa Barbara, at home 2-1. The team had hopes of qualifying for the Big West tournament like they did last year, but UC Davis's win over Santa Barbara knocked them out of their third-place spot. The team finished 5-9-3 overall. Women's soccer played hard this season, tying Santa Barbara at Alex G. Spanos Stadium in the blue-green rivalry game, with a final record of 6-10-3 overall. The women's team failed to qualify for the Big West tournament, but ended the season on a positive note, celebrating Alex Crozier's 25th year as head coach. Cross country had an incredible season. Sophomore Peyton Bilo received a record 6 weekly Coca-Cola awards and qualified for the NCAA Cross Country Championships, finishing 23rd and earning an All-American performance. Junior Clayton Hutchins was also a Big West champion and an All-Region honoree, finishing 13th at the NCAA West Regional Meet. This year, the Cal Poly Cross Country team was the first ever to sweep all 6 Big West Conference awards. Volleyball killed it this season with a record of 11-5 in conference with a standout 9 sweeps. After a disappointing loss again to number 14 Hawaii, though, the team finished off the season with a sweep of UC Davis at home on senior night. Clara Knapp, Mustang News.
Full swing when we come back from the holidays. Next quarter on Poly Playbook, you can find continuous coverage of all Cal Poly sports, including men's and women's basketball, track and field, and tennis. Well, that's all we have for Poly Playbook Sports Action this week. You can follow us on Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook, or you can log on to MustangNews.net. I'm Connor McCarthy, and from all of us here at Mustang News, good luck with finals, and we'll see you next quarter. Happy holidays.